Check.
Set the record straight, Levy.
Bishop
I'll
on
get
check?
tired of
Yes,
chess
there
and
was
then
that
go to
game, the game
poker.
that you actually
Bitch.
told me about.
With the knight, right?
I know
Or
you can't get
no,
tired
what
of
am I
chess
bishop.
just
missing?
like I can't get tired of
So
rock
the
league.
bishop goes there,
But
but then I
bitch,
can bring a knight here?
Yes.
but I get tired of chess, I go to
exactly.
poker.
And who? So this is
Sorry.
guarding this, right?
Come on, Levy.
And now who's attacking this? You actually.
My
I
queen.
just set that shit as
Yep.
premiere.
But his queen is attacking my queen too.
He said
Or
it.
my knight.
Just say that.
But you're defending it. That's
For
the
your next
difference.
video. He
Oh,
said
right,
it.
right. Okay.
So then.
Let's just
then
call it
you
out.
do
Let's
your
see it
thing.
like how we see it.
Right.
Calls
Okay,
it as
okay.
we sees it.
So
He said it. He likes
the
chess way
knight
more.
jumping to g4
I'm
by
gonna be
itself,
the bitch
not guarded. There's always
a
traps. So you see
bassinator.
two concepts collide, but one is better than the other. Is it better to go for this, or is it better to defend your point? Of course, it's better to go for this, right?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, some serious. construction
I'll
going
be the
on,
poker
so-
bassinator.
Yeah, it's like the perfect end, but
nobody else but cutie.
But
Ooh.
I mean, how can you not like this end?
Yeah,
to the
that
game?
was nice.
Oh yeah, I gotta review that
That
bullshit.
is,
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
I mean,
I just
wow.
let his knight take things.
I didn't even get to
and just
finish
went
it,
for
Levy. That sucks, doesn't it?
So
Come on,
that
bro.
is- I mean, that's a perfect way to
Give me a
end it.
goddamn break.
You
That
bring
Kit
up the
Kat
queen.
bar.
Your
Ooh.
stone wall is looking like it's doing pretty well. So we learned some stuff today. We learned about defending this, castling.
And then
make
I
sure that
went
everything is
Karakan
defended.
time.
That's sacrifice sometimes when the king is the only thing
Karakan
that's
time.
protecting. But other than
Bitch.
that, like you went 4-1.
Now
with
they're
Stonewall,
fucked,
and
aren't
also
they?
just don't let them get away with this
Now watch.
idiocy.
That. Yeah, I knew that.
Ladies and
God
gentlemen,
damn
welcome
it.
back to How to Win at Chess. This is a series where I play against my Twitch subscribers, and I go up the rating ladder, walking you through all the stages
nobody
of the games
else
the game is
but
going on. This is episode
that.
29, and in this episode, we are beginning at the lowest elo of around 1200. We will once again be ending at about 2200 rapid. Also, if you watch this video today, and today only, which is March 17th, 2024, it's St. Patrick's Day, and all my courses are 20% off, but that ends today. So if you click on this video, you enjoy anything that you see, any of these
I'm gonna close my
openings.
eyes.
Again, I don't sponsor
A
these
legend?
episodes,
Wait,
so
what
they're
the
sponsored
fuck?
by me. If you like my content, you want to take your chess journey to the next level,
Fine.
you can check out some of my courses for free, by the way. But if you like the full version, then you want the full version, you can buy them. Anyway,
You know I watched Levy's
we're
shit
kicking
on
things
this, not
off
yours.
with,
I
my
hope you know
first
that.
opponent,
Levy got me into
named
this,
I
and
Eat
not you,
Rocks,
bitch.
who is actually not in
I swear to
the,
God. Sorry, Levy. But
they're
this
not
is
there.
you.
They're not online. So
I
that's good.
promise you.
And I will just sit here and, like I
Say
said,
it.
if the players
Just a
don't
minute.
show up, they really run the risk
I
of
got
getting
him
made
into
fun
it.
of on the internet.
Fuck,
and that's
dude,
dangerous
please,
stuff.
for the love of God, Levy. Just say.
Okay, there we go.
Dude, I watched them before all this shit.
Actually,
Shut up.
I
I watched them
with D4.
before
I said
all this
1200,
shit.
but actually, my opponent is closer to 1100, so I will adjust this to 1100. Otherwise that would be false marketing. So I start with D4. Every single series, I play 5 games, and so I alternate which colors I play. So for this game, normally I play a London, but let me just show you how to play a Catalan.
Thank you.
You can play D4, C4.
Oh,
You
God
play
damn
knight
it.
F3 and G3. My opponent plays right away C5, striking at my center. This is actually a very confrontational system, and it kind of takes away what I want to do, which is knight F3
That's
and
exactly
G3.
what I wanted.
So I'm going to see what my opponent is trying to do.
Sorry, chat.
My opponent plays B5. Wow, this is the Benko Gambit. This is a very, very decent
Shut up,
opening.
Nemo.
And the idea
that.
of this opening is to give away this pawn and that pawn.
Oh, God, they're going to weaken that
and
shit.
just
I am
create a
so
very
not.
powerful
Thank
attack.
you for
So
making
I'm going
me
to take
sure
one
I
of the
cast
pawns,
to-
and so white
the
is going
fuck
to be
you
up
are.
a pawn in the end of the Benko Gambit. Black is going to have the queen side open. Now, there is a very sharp, aggressive system against this, and I think it's called the Nescaf Frappe attack. And I believe it goes something like knight c3 takes e4. And after b4, knight b5, knight takes is a big mistake. So I'm going to see if my opponent is going to fall for it. The best move is probably to take the gambit, but the Benko Gambit is a very, very dangerous opening. So full credit to my opponent for playing it, and they absolutely deserve to get, everything they want. I'm playing a very tricky line, and the Benko is kind of one of those openings that if you're going to be a very serious d4, c4 player, you do have to know what you're doing against it. You don't see the Benko Gambit a lot at the highest level because I think it's a big risk
That
that Black
horse
takes. By the
sucks.
way,
Fuck
very
you.
good move by my opponent, not actually taking this back and potentially falling into everything that I want to accomplish. I'm going to go e4 because that is generally what you want, right? You want to put 2 pawns in the center of the board like this. And if my opponent is not careful, I'm going to go e5. So Black really should be playing the move d6, and Black does, in fact, play the move d6. Now, there are 1.5 million ways to play the Benko Gambit with the white pieces, and I'm trying to find one that's appropriate. I can always say, you know, I think the general rule of thumb is that if you're going to play in a Gambit kind of situation, I almost want to not allow the opponent to have fun. You know what I mean? Like, my pawn's defended, so let me just play natural developing moves. I'm not going to play too aggressively. Sometimes I also say, like, just give the pawn back. Just play b6, let them take. This way they don't open up the rook, but it's sort of a choice, right? It ultimately will come down to what you want to accomplish in the position. So my opponent plays bishop to g7. Now, of course, I can just take on a6, which has been there for a while. You may be wondering why I'm not taking. The opponent is, it kind of wants me to do that to apply pressure to my queen side. I will just take, and now this is called the Benko Gambit fully accepted. I could have taken that on move 5. I could have taken it move 4, technically. This was move 4. Now, playing this, Black doesn't actually have to take right away. They do. And now there's also a lot of ways that I can play this. This is definitely not the best way to play this, but I'm just going to take the bishop to show you, you know, I'm giving Black everything they want. Like, I'm playing directly into a Benko Gambit. My opponent is probably going to take, and then I'm going to castle, and we're going to see just how good and just how well prepared, you know, my opponent is in this position. And by the way, as I go up the ladder as well, I do just want to point out, I did play a bit slowly last week, and I want to avoid a situation of time trouble again. Now, the thing is, if you get into a Benko Gambit position with white and you don't know what you're doing, it's actually really difficult to figure out the plans, which is, you know, Black wants to, like, encroach and do some damage over here. So I'm gonna play what I think looks like a relatively principled move. I guess I'm trying to think like a 1100, but I also kind of don't want to think like an 1100 necessarily. There's a lot of plans here for Black to come down, and one of the reasons I don't really like playing against the Benko is because Black gets a lot of counterplay. I don't enjoy letting opponents play into the Benko Gambit. So I'm gonna play a3. I think a3 is a generally flexible move. It kind of stops knight b4. And my opponent could play knight b4 anyway, because I can't capture because of the pin, but then I would just play rook b1. Now Black needs to kind of do some stuff over here. Maybe knight d7 to activate the bishop. Maybe the queen is going to come out. It's a pretty big responsibility for an 1100 to be playing down a pawn, but we're going to see how my opponent does. You know, maybe they have some experience. They do, in fact, play queen a5. And I kind of want to rotate my knight this way and kind of just plop it down. This is a very common idea in the Benko to play knight d2, knight c4. You can also strike in the center. You can play e5, trade, and then put the knight on c4 like that. I don't technically think this is the best move, but I feel like it's a move an 1100 would play. So it's a natural move. You're trying to trade. My opponent actually probably shouldn't capture. I think the best move for Black might be something like knight g4, knight d7. Putting pressure on my pawn and kind of making me make the move, which would then open up the bishop. So I will be extremely impressed if Black plays knight d7 or knight g4. I might even be too impressed. I might even be like, that's that might be a little too I mean, I really do feel like the 1100 move is to take, but we will see what my opponent comes up with. Because keeping the tension, making one of these knight jumps and just saying, well, now I'm making you take me. You're taking on my terms. That's a sophisticated concept.
Screw it.
It really is. And then it's going to be up to me to decide what to do. Okay, they do, in fact, play knight to g4, targeting my pawn. Now I have to make a decision. If I play h3, obviously, I just lose my pawn. Taking opens up their bishop.
Yes!
That might be fine. So I am, in fact, going to take. I think e6 was
how'd you like that?
a silly move.
Ooh, really?
I don't really know what my opponent is thinking about now. Yeah, that's
Woo!
the way to go. Now my knight's hanging. I should probably
Ah,
protect it.
damn!
But I can also continue with my plan of knight d2 and knight c4. I can just very simply play this move. If I play this move, however, this pawn kind of loses a little bit of protection. But okay, let's play bishop d2. Again, I'm trying to play moves appropriate
messed
for
up
the
here.
level. And
No.
there is nothing wrong with
What
this.
if I did this, though?
Also, very important to pay attention to things that are hanging in the position. That knight is
Yeah,
hanging.
really?
So
Okay.
when this knight moves somewhere, going
Real!
to have any protection. Of course, the knight could just rotate to e5. Like for the Benko, this is kind of a dream.
Nah.
I really got to tell you, this is
Not
a
happening.
this is like a dreamy position for a Benko player.
Fucker.
We're just going to see if my opponent is able to
Damn
play
it!
on from here.
Uh-oh. Was that Debo yelling at me?
I do have various tricks. Sometimes when there's a queen at the end of an opening of a position
okay,
like
I
this,
got it.
you sometimes have these little tactical tricks. After pawn takes, the queen is attacked twice. It's going to be attacked by the rook and the pawn. So you always kind of want to look out for these little shots like that you could
Oh, well, look at this
you
boy.
could get. Actually, look what I just calculated. Okay, that's a win for me. I feel like getting the queen so far out of the position.
I was like, you're down.
Kind of want to play bishop f4 and put
That's
some pressure.
all
also
I
kinda
saw
wanna just
Alex
attack the knight, but I
was,
do know the knight is going there, so it's
You're
not really-
down, and you're gonna punch a
really
pawn
much
in front of my
progress that I'm
fucking
making.
face.
You
Bitch.
know what's a move I
It's just-
like that doesn't
That's
really
why it
require
only took
much
30
thought. And again,
30
it's
seconds.
a lazy
Yeah,
move,
that was
but, like, I just didn't have to think much, and I
fuck
improved
it.
my position.
There you
You kind
did
of
it.
don't want to overcomplicate things. And I
What?
think just taking a
It does
full
7.
file compared to where my rook was
Duh.
is probably a decent
Fine.
move. Now, for
I'll
black,
take everything.
black can now
And I was like,
consider
oh, yeah.
and getting the knight
Cool.
in. Rook b8 is also completely
That's
reasonable.
what happened. 3 seconds,
Or is it?
and you took it back, and
Wait
I
a
was
minute,
like,
I see 2 loose pieces.
oh yeah.
Wait a
Oops.
minute.
And that's why you guys hate me.
That looks like a fork to me, but there is queen c8. Does my opponent have the board
Get my
vision
knight around.
to spot queen c8?
I was trying to. I was trying to get my
Gonna
knight
see.
around. I
Right,
looked
the
at that for
pawn
a
is hanging, by
millisecond.
the way, when the rook went to b8.
How to get my knight
Rook
around.
b8 did attack the pawn on b2.
Yeah, it's
But,
like, you didn't
now
see it. It's
queen
like,
c8
yeah,
does hit both.
if you guys
might be
replay
moment
the
my
fucking
opponent
tape,
thinks
it's
they've
like,
blundered.
I
They
tried to
also
look
might
for
just
my horsey
forget
jump
about the
around.
knight on g4. At 1100, it's possible. It's not, it's not like. But
And I couldn't
they
get
have
him
been pretty
out, so I
sharp so
doubled it,
far.
and I was like, oh god. halfway.
When queen c8 happens,
And I'm still trying to get
that's
my
what I
goddamn horsey
thought would
around because you keep being a
happen.
bitch.
I just
You want it
literally
really?
predicted that.
Fine.
That's, yeah, that. And,
You
and
know, look at
that's
my fortress.
Part of this level is you could play
And you're
15
pushing.
really, really good moves, and all of a sudden
Look.
you're like, "What have I done?"
And you're
You
pushing.
know, they're gonna probably take on b2, but that's
I guess it's
not
like
enough.
from
Just
the
getting
computer.
that back is
Computer's
not,
like,
and I have to
push!
be a little careful.
And I'm
Because
like,
when they take
eh.
on b2, I have to think with my knight loses protection.
Now I get my
Which is
horsey
bad.
around. Now I get my
Okay,
horsey around.
well, that, I mean,
Okay.
I should probably just trade. I probably shouldn't even think twice about
Yeah.
it. But I don't have to. But, okay, I mean, if you're going to trade rooks with
The
me,
fuck?
the second
a-
that I want a knight,
okay.
I'm going to trade rooks with you. This
Yeah,
now
you
has
can
no defense. The most easy move is rook b1, and then maybe
Sorry,
we can
I
just
like
kind of
that set.
pause there and figure it out. This for now seems
And then
good.
that move. Ugh.
One thing to keep in mind is that if the bishop takes the knight, I can't take with the pawn. So if this bishop was not here,
Oh,
rook b1
yeah,
would be a bad
pin.
move.
Yeah.
So
I
you
could have taken
can't
it
just think
twice.
about this. You also have to think about the pin, right? But I am winning.
Got lazy.
One more thing, small detail. Play h3. At some point, just make
I
sure
try to get fancy.
you're never getting back rank mated.
I just try to get
Just good
fancy.
protocol. Now, could I have played rook e1 and
That's
probably
all that
traded both
was.
rooks? Yeah, but sometimes
I didn't see it, but I
just
thought
a
it could
quick
come
move
together.
like
You know
rook
when you
e1 in
feel
11
something
seconds,
like, okay,
it's the right thing to, because let the opponent think.
I want to get
Let the
fancy.
opponent think. Chess is also practical. You play with a clock, right? Like
That was for my
rook e1 is
life.
just a practical move
And I
here
fucked up.
because we don't want to lose anything. We don't want to overcomplicate things right now. Okay.
You're not going
So
to play
it
that
was a
opening
good- you know,
against
it
me?
was a good
Fine, I'll play it
battle.
against you.
But now I'm up a knight. I'm gonna make sure I can't get mated. I'm gonna now I probably will trade the rook because this is the second time the
Alright,
queen
don't tap
retreated.
the center.
And if I can get the rooks off the board, I'm gonna be fine.
You're
I'm gonna be
right.
in great shape. Like now we just go straight for the endgame, and we don't even think about it. And that knight is now loose. So I've got various ways of attacking it. The queen was kind of the MVP of our position. And you see in this game, my opponent gave away the pawn. They played the Benko, but like 3-4 moves out of the opening, their pieces were sort of spread far apart, and it was a little bit difficult to figure out exactly what to do. By the way, my queen's under attack. I could take the rook because it's check. I think it's pretty natural here to play something like queen c4 though, just attacking this. And f5 is a completely reasonable move. Another small detail: when the pawn moves, you got to start thinking, what got weak? That square, e6 got weak. So right away, I'm thinking, can I plop a knight into the e6 square? Can I maybe play bishop g5? We don't have to trade rooks. You can, right? You can just play rook takes rook. Just get it off the board. Now make sure the queen can't come down. It can't.
Ugh.
You could play
guys are
h4 or
disgusting.
or h3. Me personally, I would just say, just make sure you can't get mated.
Fine.
Just make sure. It's just a good rule of thumb. Not necessary at all. We obviously could go for the weaknesses.
The hell is
It's
that?
good practice, especially if you're 1100. Like, it'll save you blunders in the future. You'll, not make any
I don't
completely
like that.
ridiculous mistakes. And also,
Actually,
we should keep an
fuck
advantage
it.
on the clock. So we have a 1.5 minute time edge. And
You ain't
the way
got-
we
you
win
ain't
this,
scaring
we
me.
can continue to trade. In a perfect world, we trade the queens. In a perfect
why?
world, we trade all the pieces and we just.
You know
play the
why?
knight.
You're fucked. You
But
got check
we would
covered
push
up
this
your
pawn. This is
ass.
our outside pawn. That is the pawn that our opponent gave to us in the opening.
Ain't
And
nothing
we
you
try
can
to
do
trade
about
some
it.
pieces down. Now, I
Told
was
you.
saying the banco for this level is like, it's a good opening in theory, but
And they're not
it
you
is
can
a
do
very
about it.
difficult opening to handle. And you
Damn,
notice, by the
bro.
way, how calm I'm keeping everything.
You
I'm not touching
actually
any of the
running?
pieces. I'm just gonna push
Fine.
the pawn as far as I can, force my opponent to go play defense, and then I'm gonna, my next move might be knight to b5, for
You know
example.
what?
Just get rid of the knight.
You know
Bishop
what?
C3, get
You
rid
know
of the
what?
bishop, right?
Since I'm
Of course,
you know what?
you can play bishop here.
You
can
know
play
what?
a lot of different things here.
You know
can even
what?
play b4, by the way. b4 was also very
I really
reasonable,
want to be my knight.
trying to,
I
just trade.
really
And,
want to fuck you up
um,
with my knight.
the most important thing is that black is spending more time. Now I'm up over 2 minutes, right? So that's the difficult thing about the banco, is that it's a little bit of a mysterious opening. Okay, let me follow the protocol of trading knights. It's probably not the best move, by the way, because it opened up the bishop. It's probably not the best move, but again, I'm just trying to be.
Oh, I
practical.
think it is.
And
Watch
this
this.
is a good concept by black, trying to attack
You could
me with
delay
pawns,
it all you want.
but my queen does protect everything. I would not move a pawn like this, just opening up the king, but you'll probably be fine if you do. A queen trade is good. I don't think our opponent will trade. I think they'll probably put the queen in the center. But it could be worth investigating, whether or not they're going to activate the queen. Like, the best move is
Oh, shit.
definitely to avoid and also to continue to cause problems.
Get
If they
in,
play
go away
queen
with
d4, I will be very
murder.
impressed. And then maybe I can even just go in and eat the pawn. Maybe. Right? Again, it's just about making sure
Cool.
you're not gonna suffer here. Like, that's well
Now I
done.
gotta check.
Well done. I like that my queen can come back to protect my king.
Well
what I
done.
don't like
Her.
is this stuff.
Here's a
That
sign.
looks a little bit
I'm
scary.
gonna get a
to
check
me.
first.
So I will give this check,
Oh,
and I'm
okay,
going to
fine.
try to win as many pawns as I can. By the way, we have a little, we could have a little tactic
Let's do
here
that.
with bishop takes. That's a nice little tactic, and then you have this fork. Technically,
Come on.
technically,
Break it out,
doesn't
jabroni.
quite
Know
work
your role.
because there is queen b1 check. So there's an in-between move
Come on.
that would
Your baba's
stop
legs.
that. Let's see if my opponent sees it.
I just don't know.
Oh, they didn't. They did not see that. And again, that's part of the game. Queen b1 check. In
Can I
between
push
move.
now?
Unfortunately, now
Alex.
that's a fork. This I can pre-move because there's no way to defend the pawn. And if you're gonna pre-move this game out, you just want to put your queen on a light square because this is on a dark square. So we have a lot of moves. This is discover check,
Yes, sir.
and we will. There is bishop f6.
We got a
I
lot.
would now give a check, and you can even sack the queen.
I can sack
You can also just
everything.
queen, but you can sack the queen, make a queen, and now just make another queen. If they go here, take. Just make sure you're not stalemating anybody. Make sure there's always
Let's
a
check out
legal
the next
move.
pawn.
Once you get the second queen, it's all checks. I want all checks until mate. So don't play games. Yeah, we're just gonna. I mean, you don't have to, but as
Is
long
that
as
what
there
you
are legal
want?
moves,
That
that's a
looks
check.
volatile.
And now the easiest, by far the easiest, is to cut the king off. Make
That
sure it's not
is
stalemate.
stupid.
But I want the queens on alternating ranks, right? So we're gonna
has
make
to
sure
be
the
dumb.
queens are not on the same straightaway. And now now we have an easy ladder. Boom. And now you can pre-move. and you pre-move down, and you get the ladder. You got to get the queens on alternating lines, either horizontal or vertical, and then you kind of slide down, and that's how you win. So, that was a good game. I mean, I was surprised to see an 1100 playing the Benko, and then I thought I played relatively kind of straightforward moves. Knight G4 was a nice concept, and I played like Bishop D2, which was a little bit passive. And the thing about this Benko is that it's like 0.3, 0.4 sort of forever.
That plays bad.
And then the way that black has to create counterplay is like Knight C7, Rook B8, and you almost never take a step back because, like, look at the advantage. It's 0.3. The second you go back, it's like 0.5, 0.6. I played Rook E1, which was sort of an easy move. All of a sudden, it's +1. The only way to defend both knights is to play Queen C8. Now I would play Bishop F4 attacking. And somehow, black never... I don't know. It like almost feels like it never gets off the ground. And that's one of the dangerous things about this Benko just overall, is that if white sort of controls you and doesn't let you have fun, and obviously, my opponent blundered a knight, which is obviously going to make things more complicated. We traded rooks, and I thought we did a pretty clean job of simplification, but...
Damn it.
I don't know. I'm not a... Benko's fine.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not here just criticizing the opening, but I'm just sort of showing you, like, the way that black should have handled that was stacking the A and the B files. And my opponent, I felt like backed up.
That happened either.
They shouldn't have backed up. In the Benko, you almost never back up. In any gambit, really, you don't back up. Now, I'm going to do it again. I've got a Scandinavian defense course. It's on Chessly. It's 20% off for only today. And I'm gonna play it, and I'm playing my Scandinavian defense, and you could get a whole free sample. So if you don't want to spend any money, you can still check this out. And the main line is D4 and D4. We'll see what my opponent plays.
Really?
This is all very standard stuff. Okay. Now generally this pawn comes here, but sometimes people play it a little bit differently. Sometimes they play D3 a little bit more. And, okay. I have another person playing D3. I haven't played this person before, right? Yeah, we've never played before, but I had a person play this against me quite recently in one of these episodes, and a lot of people, they do this, and technically when the pawn is on D4, which is the main way to play the Scandinavian, the move Bishop B4 is what I like. It's in my Scandinavian course. Here I don't like it as much. Okay, Bishop E3 is not targeting my queen, so I don't have to get I don't have to make a getaway. But I also just think it's like good practice. Just my queen can now escape sort of any time.
Oh shit.
There is some pressure on that side of the board. Normally the bishop is going to E7, but I don't really see a reason not to put it more actively. I mean, generally the bishop is there, so we will now both castle. I will always play Bishop G6, and my opponent played more passively. The more aggressive way to play the Scandi is to put the pawn in the center. But you notice, like, I just have a very good structure. I'm going to finish my development. I'm going to castle, and we're going to play. Another aggressive way to play the Scandinavian is to castle long. But that's very dangerous, because then white can attack you, and you attack white. I'm going to play it the right way, the proper way. I'm just going to castle short. I'm going to show you. It's probably the easiest opening to play in chess, and the most solid, besides maybe the Caro-Kann. But we will now finish our development, and then we will, right... we will kind of consider the next step in the game. When I see a bishop here and I see a pawn here, I'm always thinking to advance with my pawn, try to get that bishop, try to play like knight here, take that bishop when it goes there. I like bringing the queen back and then eyeing that side of the board. I like sneezing. Again, you want to check out Scandi?
Bye-bye.
Course of sale. But if you also want to take the car for a test drive for free, you're more than welcome to do that. My opponent's trying to go here, but that sort of plays directly into my hands.
Come back!
I haven't finished my development yet. Now I will defend my knight. And speaking of which, Bishop F6 is actually not as scary as you would think, because
I swear to God.
King here and go here, and that's actually something you learn as you get stronger at chess. Like it's a little deceiving sometimes.
I panicked. What do you want from me?
By white would be knight to
a
E4,
blowjob?
because the move Bishop D4 opened up the E file, and now bringing a knight here would be quite strong. A lot of people do play knight H4. They also play this, and the best way that I like to meet this move is actually just to bring the bishop back to G6 and be completely solid. Now my queen sees more of the 5th rank. Very important to understand how your pieces interact when other pieces move, right? So when that bishop moved, the rook opened. When that knight moved, the queen opened, right? When my bishop moved, my queen opened. I like to do this because when they take, I get a rock-solid formation near my king, and I am not going to lose anytime soon. So Scandi is, yeah, very, very solid. Now, of course, we will take HG. These bishops are pretty strong, but they're staring into very, very well-protected pieces. Maybe I will bring my rook to the center. Maybe I will kick the bishop with e5. I actually had this in the last How to Win at Chess. If you are a frequent viewer, you will remember. And if you're not, then that's okay. And if you are a frequent viewer, but you don't remember because chess is hard.
Shut up,
the
dude.
previous
God
I played
damn,
e5,
I'm not talking to
squared
you.
bishop got very strong. So maybe in this game, what I'll do is I'll not play e5.
Shut
I'll
the
just bring
fuck
the queen
up.
over. I'll pawn storm.
God
try
damn.
to trap these pieces over here. And, I mean, I don't have any big
Holy
advantage, but I have a
fucking
very
shit.
easy
You
to
don't
play
know
position,
shit,
and
motherfucker.
a position that I like quite a lot.
God
just
damn.
Looks to the middle now, prepare for the next phase of the game.
Annoying.
I said that move was going to be reasonable like a moment ago, and it continues to be reasonable. The immediate threat is the attack on my bishop. Now, my first instinct is to take. I'm going to pause, though. Like, I'm going to say, like, do I have to take, right?
Oh, fucking
my knight
shit.
is well
You're asking
protected
a
by my
hole
knight and my pawn, although maybe I don't want my pawn to move. I don't want my king to be open. So this move comes to mind because I kind of don't want to allow the rook into the game.
She
That
doesn't
seems
know
a
her
little
ass
bit-
from a hole in the ground, bro.
a little bit
Just
silly
admit
for
it.
me to do. So
She doesn't know her ass
it's
from
not
a hole in
very
the ground.
often that going back is a
Yeah, let's
is
trade,
a,
Bridge.
is a great move. I mean, I could go forward.
Really? Hold
Go
up.
forward, get a trade, trade off that bishop, which is pretty strong. That now the more that I look at it, that doesn't look half bad. So I might do it. And the only thing I gotta be a little careful, is that if my queen lands in the middle, a rook is gonna see my queen. So I gotta make sure my queen can always dart out of the way. It could go somewhere where it can be. Although the knight can also take. So sometimes when your opponent is pressuring you,
And now you're
you
fucked.
want to make trades because that way they can't pressure you with pieces.
Right?
But you'll notice you don't want to just make lazy trades. If you make this trade, another piece reappears. You got rid of a piece, they have a new one that emerged. So by doing this, I will trade, and they don't have an emergence of a new piece. There's no piece. I'm just getting rid of the dark squared bishop. But to be honest with you, both moves were probably fine. B4. Whoa. And so if I take, is the idea rook b1? Is that the idea? Now, I can't protect my pawn, but there is an interesting line there. Take rook b1, and I bring the queen here, defending that pawn if my knight moves. I think that works, but it is a little bit dangerous. It's also a little unrealistic, I feel like, for 1500, so I'm gonna go here. That is definitely not the best move. We will analyze later. I don't think this was correct, but, but we will see. Also, when I come here, I'm creating a battery with my bishop down to that pawn. If any of you were wondering why I didn't take a free bishop, because my queen was hanging. But I think queen b4 was actually fine. I think it was fine. I think maybe, but that was a little bit of a complicated defensive sequence. I was tactically defending my pawn because the bishop was hanging. My opponent would have needed to move the bishop, blah, blah, blah. Also, my Discord just went off, and I apologize for that. That was my Discord. It should be on streamer mode when I am recording.
I already have a free passage, bitch, with double pawns.
Now I am on streamer mode.
Oh, shit. You did not. Oh, I fucked up. I did the bathrobe.
Now we
Levy.
sit and wait for a move. Okay.
Oh,
We
God.
cannot take
Levy!
with the knight because we lose defense of this. We can take with the pawn, or we can come back and take with the bishop. I'm just going to say, I don't really like the concept of opening space near my king, so I'm going to take with the
He better
bishop.
move his king, right?
But I think they're both fine. And when the bishop takes, I'll take with the knight. And we just...
What's wrong with me?
We're completely safe. We have to pay a little bit of attention because you never know when your opponent can sacrifice, but...
Let me go strong side.
we go. Okay.
Better.
Now we have an endgame. There's no immediate threat. So probably bringing a rook to the center is
I suck.
correct. We could consider an attack still, but
Come on,
after
Rage.
bishop b3, I mean, I don't really see what we're accomplishing. Knight to d5 is also
I'm
an
so
interesting
sorry.
move. It puts pressure on the pawn, and it offers up an exchange.
They fucked up.
Tough to say. Like, you know, I think you don't spend a lot of time here. You just can play like rook d8, for example. The sacrifice doesn't work. So this is, you can't sacrifice here. There's not enough pieces to attack with. What you should be careful about is if the queen
gotta
goes
get a six
there
pawn,
and the rook
right?
goes behind the queen and then your opponent checkmates you. That would be bad. But accomplishing that is actually not possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves that would take. And if you can't see that that's coming in 5 moves, I don't really know what to tell you, you know? If your opponent is
Loser.
here, you can even move the queen in close. And now none of that is going to be happening. But
Jammed it.
it's, I mean, it's a plan, you know? Like, if my
That
opponent
was good.
sees that,
That was a
and
good
goes for it,
game.
it's a plan. A
That's
plan's a
what.
plan. But I'm going to be faster.
Oh, well, 7
I'm
mistakes.
going to be faster. I'm
Okay,
not going to
okay.
let that happen. You know? Not to mention, I could play rook e8 and run my king to the center, which ironically could be safe. I can also hide checkmate with my, you know, I can protect checkmate with my knight. A3. The secret to playing with pawns against pawns, because I really do feel like this is a position a lot of people would sort of lose their way in,
Think backwards.
is improve your position to the max, like double your rooks, you know, centralize your knight potentially in a
backwards.
trade and open up.
I like that.
And then at that point, you got to
It's
start
just
moving
my
your
game.
pawns. Me personally, I would play b5 and a5. That would be my combination of moves, but I would be cognizant of the fact that this pawn gets weak once these pawns go. I would not start with a5 because then the pawn can come forward. Although it's probably all fine. The truth is it's chess and it's probably all fine. So for
Probably.
now, let's continue the philosophy of like improving our position and doubling and just getting, you know, active. If we get attacked, which definitely looks quite reasonable, this pawn gets weak, but it's, I mean, it's still chess. Like it's not, we haven't earned anything yet. There's nothing, you know, nothing impressive just yet about our position.
Might be
So,
2 moves down.
And this is why the Scandinavian is not necessarily for everybody. You know, it's a little bit too slow. Like you get these very good positions. You have 0 risk of losing quickly. But then you have to play, and not everybody wants to play. But if you're like 1800, 1900,
I'm gonna try
2100,
it.
like these are great,
I'll try to ladder it.
great openings to have because the, you know, the game goes on. A
Yeah,
while.
you
And
can ladder with
shows,
2
like, all right,
pieces.
C3 was maybe a little silly.
Do not
so we'll
this
come back.
I like to ladder them.
We are blocking our queen, which I'm not a huge fan of, but this is life. You know, we're going to also double up. So we have doubled rooks. Not really clear what the threat is yet, but maybe we will kick out the bishop and instigate. That's the key word about all this. We're instigating. That's what we're trying to do. Like knight d5.
Oh my
now, for
God,
example.
you're a
Knight
god.
d5 attacks the rook and the pawn. So actually white has to trade. right?
Literally.
And now it's a fascinating choice. We can take with the pawn.
I'm still instigating
or
down
the
a goddamn
rook.
pod.
I wouldn't take with this pawn because then you don't get any benefit. If we take with this pawn, at least
I love that
we're
word.
opening up some pressure over there.
You gotta
But
instigate
I
them.
gotta tell you, this looks really good. Just doubled rooks, and now maybe we start, you know, we start coming over here. We start trying to get in with the queen, all while paying a little attention to that side of the board. That move threatens the pawn, but that's going to be an easy fix. So now I'm going to strike with a5, and I'm going to try to soften up white's pawn structure and just bulldoze down this line. Another thing at the end of this line is that the rook, well, now the rook is gone, actually. So that's not a bad move, by the way, trying to anticipate the opening of the position. Might have been good for me to play e5 there. That might have been a well-timed move. It still might be a well-timed move, e5. And after a big trade, we get an active queen. We could play b5 now to restrict both of these moves. You know, we could try to play rook f5. A lot of things. So since there's so many complications, what I would say is you have to keep an edge on the clock somehow. Like, you can't just fall asleep and say, oh my God, you know, I'm going to sit and I'm going to think I'm going to solve the game. Let's go e5. Let's try to make something happen. Let's get a trade. Let's get the queen centralized. Okay? How about we do that? we do have to be careful. Because if... That's a very nice move, by the way. Pinning our pawn to our queen. That's a very nice concept. So now our queen needs protection, but this pawn also needs some protection, right? So when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, all right, maybe I have to play rook e8. That was a very nice concept by the opponent. Now the opponent could play this. Right, and they're putting some serious pressure. I was hoping they wouldn't see that, by the way. I saw queen g3, but sometimes I make moves and I'm like, you know, I don't always want to play like a 2400. This move works if I take something, but I don't have to take, I could push. That's why it was better to play rook e1. So I mean, it's a little, but there might be rook e1 anyway, by the way. There might be rook e1 anyway. f4 was an interesting concept. Let's see, will they play rook e1? They didn't. They didn't play rook e1. I can still... Maybe now I'll just play f5. Make sure, you know... I can also play rook f5. Tough decision. How about we play... Let's play f5. This just looks right. This just looks right. And now we can continue to try to do something over here. How about we rotate, we try to take. Now that we know this is super solid, and we're trying to stay up at least a minute on the clock, let's try to open that side of the board up, right? We're putting pressure. They can't go here because we take. They could try to make a pawn break, but we don't have to take. It's not checkers. I like this. Okay, if we take, they're trying to open, you know, they're trying to get some trades. So maybe just something like queen b6. Just slow, steady. Notice that at this level, a lot of it is like these slow moves. Nobody's doing anything drastic. Nobody's doing anything crazy. Nobody's chopping everything down. Notice how long the pawns have stared at each other. At 1500, that's very, very normal. Now we can take. Now we can take because the queen no longer guards the rook. Continuity. They just went here to protect the rook. We couldn't take because we didn't want them to control the file when they play queen b3. Now we take. That's the difference. Now they're going to lose material. They go here... Ooh, that is a very fortunate move for us. c4 attacks the rook. If I move the rook, it's discovered check on our queen. That is crazy. c4 is a great find by my opponent. That is an excellent find. Now the rook, right? If I move the rook, c5 is a discovered attack on my queen. That is nuts. So what I have to find here, and I saw this from a distance. I can't take because of this. What I have to take is this pawn threatening that rook. That's a tough find. And that is the only reason none of this works is because I have this. And I get the rook back, and I'm winning. I'm winning because I'm going to take the pawn and then we're going to trade a bunch of pieces and life is going to be good. That is probably the best move, by the way. And so now I have to, you know, I got to protect myself. Like, you know, do I take with the rook here? Probably. That's probably that's probably the best move. Is that I take with the rook. I'm attacking the queen in this. And I mean, c4 was almost winning. I mean... almost winning. That was an excellent move, and I saw it, but I was going to kind of talk about it in the game review. I can't talk about everything quickly and thoroughly. Do I have anything here? I mean, the easiest by far is to trade the rooks. You don't even think, you just trade the rooks, and you just need to make sure there's no, you know, there's nothing there. So I'm gonna trade the rook, and now we just have to not blunder anything. We can just take the pawn. I would give some checks, by the way. I would just give a few checks because you never know what's going to happen. And actually, in this case, we're going to win a pawn with a check. It's always good to win pawns with check. Like, that has to be good. And so now when the king goes to the first rank, again, what I would do here is I would play the simple move. As long as there's no perpetual check, I would just get rid of this pawn. Because now,
Thank you, Levy.
even if they win this and even if they win this, we're going to hide. We're going to hide. So
Yes, sir.
I would, you know, probably the best move is to protect. I would just take pawns. Like, that's, you know, that's the easiest. Where they're gonna, but now our king is safe. As long as you avoid more checks, and now we're winning. The easiest way to win is to probably just push the pawn. Like this. Oh my goodness, I don't know why I'm sneezing so much. So, Now a lot of things win. Taking the pawn
kinda wanna see
wins.
that
Even
last
trading
move.
the queen.
Oh
wins.
god damn!
We have a check. That's
Getting
probably
away
the most
with
instructive.
murder.
We can play check.
I thought they had me.
Force the king up, and then force a queen trade, and then the pawn promotes. But there was a lot of ways to win. Could have also. Now this is winning, and make sure no stalemate. I think my opponent's gonna go here. Okay, cut the king off. Give a check. Win the pawn. And now the easiest thing, just like last game,
Loser.
we make a second queen. Every move is a check. Check. Boom. Boom.
the
Boom.
fuck?
Boom. Same exact technique. Wins you every game. That was a great game by my opponent. My opponent played super well that game, and they,
What the fuck
they
is wrong
fought
with me?
very, very well. And you'll notice that at the
What the-
1500 level, a lot
God
of people sort of
damn
play
it.
this kind
I
of
hate my
solid
life.
system.
No, stop it.
And you know, in the game, I tried to play relatively
No.
straightforward.
And then I
Bishop
win.
G6 is not the best move.
Right? Because they're up.
It was better for me to play Bishop G4 and be a
Let's
little
give him a
bit more
chance.
aggressive, try to create this weakness
Oh
for my
shit,
opponent.
bro! Look at that.
And I thought I played fine. This was all normal.
How about
And
1500?
yes,
My
indeed,
ass.
The best move was this.
Bro, I gave him
because it's a
1500 plus
root B1.
4. Fuck out of
For
here.
example, Queen E7 and defend this
Bro,
pawn because of
I
this
gave him
trick.
1500
Now
plus 4.
That's
5.
a little tough to spot. I think.
Yeah,
even
it
at
is.
1500. So I went here.
Bitch.
We were kind of slightly better maybe here. The computer, by the way, does.
Hey,
want me to
Levy.
take with the pawn
Hey, Levy.
and go up. And
Bitch.
use my and that is instructive. That my king is actually safe.
Bitch. Hey,
I may
Levy.
not have known that, but again, I'm trying to put
Hey,
you through the brain of the person playing.
The Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card. Earn
You gotta do what you gotta do,
2% cash
bitch.
back on purchases you
Thank you,
want,
Levy.
like dance lessons.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
What you need, like memory foam.
Hey,
and
come back
That's
here.
real life ready. Visit
I got sponsored by Wells
wellsfargo.com/activecash.
Fargo. Wait,
Terms apply.
Levy's definitely Wells
And,
Fargo,
my
bro.
opponent did a very decent job. I mean, this was, I thought I kind of demonstrated the right way to put pressure in this type of
Gotta
position.
do.
I had a beautiful tactic here, by the way, which is C5 and
Nice.
sacrificing my queen. Yeah, that's really, really nice.
And then what happened? I'm still
and,
defend. I'm still 5. You're
That,
5 up.
If pawn takes
5-1. Damn it.
this,
You
and
went
that's kind of
from
brutal, right?
5 to 5.
Now,
Is that what I'm saying, Levy?
in this position,
You went from 5 to 5.
queen takes. Yeah, that's sort of the end.
You went from
Once we start
5
breaking in
to
bad news,
actually 5 at point 1.
we
My
get
bad.
in, and I
Wait.
think it was just basically totally winning.
You went from point 4 to
Yeah.
5, and then
And now,
ended at
this is
5.1.
unfortunately-
Damn, chess is way easier than Rocket
there
League
is
because Rocket League's way more
one
mental intuitive.
tricky thing here. By
For
the way.
5 minutes, Rocket
If
League,
my opponent went
and for 5
here,
minutes, chess. The Rocket League's got me going, baby.
move is a draw.
Because you have to always pay attention and analyze the court.
Stalemate, and white can sack the queen.
You want to see chess pieces?
Oh, that's so brutal.
You want to see your
Oh
teammate
my goodness.
running
I just saw
rampant.
that in the stockfish lines. Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
so what
Queen
happened?
G6. Oh, that's
So,
a draw.
up
That is why
5.
you never resign.
You made one move
But
wrong.
I thought I did a nice job, and luckily
capitalized.
if I blundered.
Oh, it
My
was
next
that
opponent is
one.
not online. I
other
need
one
to
was
tell
this.
them to get online. Please
That been bad.
to play online. Refresh.
That wouldn't been bad either. I
Sometimes
just
it happens,
knew.
you're sort of logged out.
Let's get up there. I
Um,
think I'm still losing.
But yeah, this was really cool by my opponent. C4, and this is the only winning.
That's
move.
what I wanted this whole time, though.
And just so you understand, like, if
Watch.
the position
Wait,
was,
where do I move my rook?
Let's say.
Okay, so I hit it here, and I'm
move
like,
this is
this.
losing
I want this. Num nums.
because I can't attack the rook.
Okay, you're gonna delay it. Okay, num nums.
I can't attack the rook, which is kind of nuts.
Num nums.
Yeah. So that was very nice.
Okay. Oh, I could.
That was very nice. All right.
Look at all the pieces. You attack multiple pieces. Num nums.
My next opponent seemingly cannot
I should have.
figure out
I suck.
how to.
I heard pawn. I went.
Get a game going.
Shut up.
I don't know what's happening. I'm going to try
You
to
wanna
start
do
the
it?
game again.
I'm lazy and drunk, so you're gonna deal with it.
Let's see what happens. Says they're not online.
Yeah. Too bad. Really?
Okay.
I'll
If it
forfeit
says they're
this
not
match.
online, then I'm going to try to challenge them to a game.
Hold on. Maybe I
instead of
could.
Starting the game by myself. So stay tuned. Maybe we'll put a commercial break. Maybe the commercial will.
I gotta
be,
figure it out. Shut up, Levy.
Just get a course.
I wish.
How about that?
I did.
All right, I'm going to just send them a
Can I
challenge.
get a free game?
There we go. Formal fallacy. Okay. First game I played D4.
Wait, is it golf or chess?
I've been playing a few Englishes.
Which one is it, bro?
Let's play E4 this game. Maybe
You gotta
I'll
get
go back
one
to
or the
D4
other,
next
man.
time. Okay, Sicilian.
I don't like that.
There's a lot of lines
I
against
play
the
Nemo, though.
Sicilian defense.
Nemo, you on?
One of my favorites is A3.
She's playing
Let's see what my
Banco on
opponent
me.
does. This is in my
Okay,
E4
maybe
course.
not, but
So if this game
you guys
goes
making
well,
it fair? Like she has like a handicap.
If this game goes well, you got to check out the E4 course.
Really?
20%
What
off.
is
This is
this?
the most common response by black. All Sicilian players play all these different Sicilians, but the second you play A3, suddenly they all play knight C6. Now,
Bitch,
this is playing
get the
directly
fuck outta
into
here.
the gambit. So if you don't take, of course I'm going to go B5, and that feels unpleasant. As a person playing the Sicilian with black, you kind of don't want to take this pawn. You kind of don't want to. So some people will strike in this, they'll try to do something else.
I don't
But if
like
you
to
don't take,
say.
I'm going to play B5.
And Alex
and
knows
what's
that.
funny is that A6 stops B5, but it doesn't because I can still
Oink.
play B5. And now this
Nom
is
nom.
a bit psychologically rattling. For
Nom
some
nom
people.
nom nom
Taking
nom
the
nom
pawn
nom
is
nom.
not bad for black,
Nom
but
noms.
it's understandably dangerous. And now suddenly we are completely throwing a Sicilian defense player out of their comfort zone. Because do they
Nom
go
noms.
home?
Oh
Do they go
shit.
to E5? Like, what do they... If they play knight D4, we will boot them around the center a little bit more. So, already in 5 moves, we have a 1700 completely, like, running around, right?
Yep.
In fact, I think we can win.
My
the knight.
horsey
We can
is
just
on
chase
the
the knight
loose, and I can always retreat
D4
with my
here.
horsey.
What about F4?
Okay. Let's do it.
Knight G6. Can I just play F5? Maybe not.
Stand your ground.
There's a nice move there that might.
Hey, retreat. Now look, bitch.
I would be very curious to see if my opponent found this move.
What's your problems
F5,
now?
there is a
We're
ridiculous
just
defense.
antagonizing.
If the knight just runs around, I'm just going to trap it. But F5, there might be.
Yeah,
E6
good luck. I got this
creating
corner
a
and this corner.
threat
What the fuck you
of
back it up
this
for?
check, which is
That was
crazy.
not a good
I mean,
move.
if that works, that is really, really wild.
Oh, you're so fucked.
We
with
gotta
that
analyze
move.
that. I don't want to risk it because I don't want to get into a bad
You
position.
are
but that
so
is really
fucked.
instructive.
That's a
F5,
double attack,
E6.
right?
And I kind of want to play into it just to see if
Boom.
my opponent would
Yeah.
spot it,
Boom.
but I also don't want to get myself into a bad position. What do we do? I'm so conflicted. Let's go for it.
This motherfucker overextended
It's not the best move
like a bitch.
because of this completely. and
I
then,
really
like,
want to put this pressure on so this can't move.
I have to make sure I'm not like losing there.
But you know what?
E6 would be wild if they found. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Is that a 1700 level move? Maybe if I played F5 very
I
quickly, my
scored.
opponent would have like not suspected anything is up.
I still want this target.
But
Oh, okay.
no, E6 is one of those moves that you kind of come up.
What the fuck does that mean?
Desperation.
You're gonna trap my horsey? God damn it! You're gonna trap
And they
my
can't hear
horsey.
me. Just so, like my opponent's
I
not in
hate
my
people.
walls.
All right, fine,
I would
fine.
hope.
You wanna
So
take my horsey? You get my horsey.
yeah, they didn't find it. They didn't find it, and now the knight is trapped. Although I think they're trying to. They're doing it this way. They're doing it this way. That is very interesting. I don't think it works, but it is a very interesting idea because I can just walk up to the. I like if I take, the queen is very, very powerful. But what if I just protect my What if is there anything wrong with queen g4? I'm trying to figure this out. Anything wrong with queen g4? I don't see anything wrong with queen g4. And you don't have to take, just so it's not checkers. So I think I'm just gonna go queen g4.
Thank
And I think I'm
God.
just gonna
I
win this
love
knight,
that
and
saying.
that might be already the end of the game. But pawn
'Cause
takes,
that
by
was
the way,
my
pawn
main
takes, I
issue.
can just take the knight. I don't have to take the pawn back. Yeah, but now going to take, and the difference is
Not
that
checkers,
this is only a
dude.
check with a bishop.
Now you lose your pawn, right?
So I can hide my king, and as long as I don't lose anything or do anything really dumb, it's a very big advantage. It's a very big advantage. Now, bishop f6 protects this, and ooh, that is very creative. If I take, I get forked. Very tricky. At 1700, they set traps. And this is very, very instructive. Do I go back to the third rank, or do I go here? I kind of want my knight there, but I also like my queen there, so I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. It all looks kind of okay. I think I should be a little more active with my queen. I expect bishop f6, although knight f6 is probably also fine. And I'm up a knight. Like, our a3 Sicilian got us a winning position in less than 10 moves against obviously a very good player. So we still don't have to take here. We can play bishop b2. We can finish our development here. I mean, it looks really appetizing to put the bishop out. It just feels good to have more pieces in the game, because right now I don't have a lot at all. And also I have a very weird position with this king, and it's a little bit dangerous. Plus,
Oh, shit.
this bishop kind of lost
I messed
contact.
up!
But I do have to be careful. I mean, you know, there are still plenty of ways to potentially lose.
Okay, maybe I
So I
didn't.
should
They
be sure to
fucking
be
suck.
defensive. Some of you, by the way, like I always
God
talk about
damn.
simplifying when you're winning. A bishop
That's
f6
what I
is
meant to do.
probably
That
fine,
and then
but I
that.
would not be so
God
hasty
damn
to
it.
give away such a bishop. I mean, it's a very nice looking bishop, and I really
hate my
don't want
life.
to.
No, Levy, you got it
I
backwards.
really don't want to trade.
I
it off,
thought like
know?
you.
So
Sorry.
queen b6. Okay, is there a threat? No.
What?
Is there a threat? Actually, no, because I'm defended.
Okay.
So
Actually,
I mean,
you're
I
down
can
for.
just develop. I wouldn't develop this way because then I'm blocked. Could maybe get my knight out. I could offer a
Actually,
queen trade.
I'm
I
always
could do a
wrong.
handful of things here. I think, but probably the easiest move and the move I have to think about the least is knight to
Actually,
h3.
the fuck?
It's not really where I want my knight, but it's just getting a piece out. It's protecting f2 from this idea. I could have moved my bishop there or there probably as well. At some point, black will move the rook, and this will become a reality. I cannot take because of this. And when you are up a piece, you don't. Not all pawns are the same. You don't really care about you don't need to preserve every single pawn. So the pawns
sir.
change value as the game is going on a little bit, you know?
I don't fucking know what you want.
So I would not be that concerned.
Oh, I saw my queen.
If I get another e4 in the next game, I'll probably play a Caro Kann, or I'll play a modern. I kind of feel like playing.
I was
on
completely
6
fucking
This is-
forgot about my
this
queen,
is a
bro.
very weird position. This is like, you know, the opening went well,
Bro.
and we obviously, you know, we got an advantage. And,
I
you know,
completely
we tried to play very
fucking
creatively and
forgot
defensively,
about my
but
goddamn queen.
D5, yeah, D5 is very interesting.
What
move.
the
It's
fuck
trying to
is
be
wrong with
aggressive.
me?
So if I take, they're going to take with the pawn or the knight.
Like, bro,
If I don't take, they're going to take me.
what the
So,
fuck? Shut
As
up!
long as you're not creating massive problems for
What the fuck is
yourself,
wrong with me?
trading is probably in general going to be fine.
I'm so sorry.
We take a quick moment to glance. Okay, the knight is coming here.
Okay.
No, I am
I
being
ain't scared.
messaged
I'm love for
by
love.
my wife, I think.
Hey, I better not raising her out. Does she play chess?
Yes, she is traveling home on the train.
Oh, god damn it. Wait.
My opponent took. I promise I'm not getting assistance.
Yeah, I bet.
Okay.
Boop, 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 boop,
This looks like a good move to me.
Oh, god damn it.
The bishop is targeting the pawn.
Lord Farquaad.
I mean, rook here looks
I know who
pretty
that is.
reasonable. I also like knight c3 just attacking.
It was
this
an
pawn.
intense game. Hey, I can't fucking. Oh, I got a brilliant. Love it. Yep.
That
Just
seems
fucking
pretty
love that
straightforward,
shit.
right? We're just threatening.
Now I was like,
And also,
okay,
my opponent's king
where
is
were
still
we at?
there.
I can
So there
retreat,
might be a chance
bitch.
for me to attack. If black
I was
castles,
up,
they
though.
walk directly into this rook and directly into that bishop.
Oh,
and I don't like
really?
that very much. This Bishop has sort of lost its
Yeah, what?
power. It's really not doing a whole lot anymore. It also kind of looks.
Oh yeah, you
trappable.
lose that shit. God
Like,
damn it.
Queen F4 does look very, you know,
Then
it
what?
will block.
Oh, yeah, you
the
lose.
reason I'm not playing this.
Then
is
what?
I'm
Then what
not
happened?
Seeing that the knight can get
That's
into
how I
the
see
game.
with the chess. Like, look.
But can't I
Ready?
just trade?
Then what happened?
Isn't the trade
Oh, that's what should happen.
good for
God
me?
damn it.
I guess they're trying to. I mean, I don't see.
I knew that queen was wild. I know I had to
I'm gonna
tame it,
take-
Levi. Sorry, okay. I'm getting too the wild.
And just to slow you down here, there's a very interesting move I could play, which is.
You know
Queen
goddamn
E4.
well I had to
I'm gonna
fucking
take
tame that
Queen E4
goddamn
check,
queen.
attacks the knight
Say
and
it.
the bishop
That shit was
and the
running too
king.
wild. You know when a
And
horsey
the
or a
bishop minus
bishop's
one,
running
but
too
for
wild,
simplicity, we're gonna go here. There's
and
a
you gotta
cool move here,
tame
which
it.
is bishop c6.
if you want to put it in those words,
I can take,
Levy.
but then I lose this. That looks dangerous.
That's how
It's
my
not that
book's gonna
dangerous,
go, bro.
because I can save
Whose
my
book's
rook,
gonna sell more?
playing rook c1. I can also just with the pawn
My
in that
book?
square, suddenly the king.
Oh, your book.
For black.
Hey, Alex.
Okay, but now
I like to
getting-
ride the Levy
also, isn't this
chess
a full
train
bishop?
with my book.
Rook
Isn't
c1
that
also
sick?
looks like it's very also
Like,
queen
bro,
d4.
I
is
hyped your
queen
chess
trade
book up,
guaranteed,
and now I want one.
because I'm threatening the queen and mate.
How the fuck does that feel, though?
If I go here,
Cool,
what
right?
is my move if black plays rook d8?
That shit's cool. He built you up
No
all
move.
you could.
Technically,
And
there's
now
one
I
small
want
move,
one.
but that is more than enough to get me to say, "Yeah, I'm good.
Bitch.
I'm fine. I don't want to get wrapped up in any of that."
No, I want Alex
Queen
to write it
d4,
for me, though.
is a guaranteed queen trade,
Not you.
and then after takes.
Would you write a
takes,
book like that, Alex? If I
we're
was
winning.
like, don't let your
They're probably
horsey.
gonna get a
You
pawn,
gotta tame it sometimes.
but we do have a
It
winning
tease
advantage.
words.
Rook g1,
No,
they're
that'd
gonna
be
come
a
back and play
fucking
defense
mess.
with the bishop. Me personally, I mean, I think the best move in the position is
That'd be a
maybe to
fucking
take the
bitch.
bishop, but queen d4 just strikes me as like the
Ugh.
you can't lose move. There's also absurd moves like rook a4 attacking the bishop. I should speed up though. You'll notice I don't have a lot of time. What about bishop d4? By
Oh,
the way?
God.
This is just
Taking
something
a
that
minute.
dawned on me.
Opening.
Then maybe queen h6.
This way could run it
It's all
better,
weird. It's
bitch.
all really weird.
My system. Not yours.
I'm gonna play simple chess.
She thinks it's
I'm gonna
hers.
trade queens.
No, bitch. It was 1,000 years
And
before
then-
you.
We're winning, but they're gonna have a little bit. You know, they're gonna have something to say about it. It's not
Just say,
as
bitch.
easy as we would like.
You did not mainstream
But
shit.
being up a knight is better than not being up
I
a knight. We
did.
spent way too much time on that move, 1.5 minutes. Obviously, too much time.
How about that? I
We wanna
mainstreamed
play
the
it a little
move.
bit faster, but it is what it is. Now, if they take, the rooks are staring at each other. Yes, of course, I anticipated this move. This is under attack now, but we don't have to defend against that yet. Instead, I can play rook g1, and I can just... I'm going for my own stuff
I'm
as
gonna
well.
bulldoze in a sec.
g6 is possible.
I'm tired of the
Um,
bitch.
Bishop g6 getting in the way is possible. f6 is possible as well, blocking
Fine.
the bishop.
You want to do that?
Bishop g4 is a check.
I'm confident.
If they do that, I think I'm going to play bishop e2. I think I'm going to trade and still continue to go for that. And low-key, super low-key, that pawn is now actually hanging. So, pawn has not been under attack for about 10 moves. But now it is. So, yeah.
Go with the flow.
g6 indeed. I can take the pawn. I mean, the pawn is free. It's not free because the bishop is targeting my knight. So the thing about these How to Win a Chess episodes is like sometimes my brain just stops working halfway through. You know, it's like too much chess. Well, if it's not free, then I'm gonna have to start, you know, bringing some more pieces into the game. I'm gonna have to play knight f4. So,
Yep. Give me a
crazy
chance
game.
to bring my pieces
I mean,
in.
definitely
You won't give
a
me a
game where
chance.
black is
which
creating a
means
lot of counterplay.
I shall win.
Even though I'm up a
If you don't
piece,
give me a
it's
chance to
not
bring my
proving to be
pieces
easy
out,
whatsoever.
you're gonna be
This
fucked.
is attacking this. Listen, I think that by far the easiest thing to do here is just to play bishop d3. Like, let's just
Fine.
trade some pieces.
You want to do that
Bishop
shit?
takes, I'm gonna take with the knight.
Fine. I'll give you a forceful
And
move,
then
bitch.
we,
I'm tired
the
of you.
less pieces black has, way less.
I'll give you a goddamn forceful move.
So I think I'm gonna play this.
And look how it
and
turns
now
out.
I'm winning.
I'm tired of you.
This is under attack again.
One
I could,
forceful
you know,
move
probably
later.
dance out of the way, but let's just create.
Levy, tell me how much you
bulletproof
love
central structure
forceful
that our opponent
moves.
can't get past. And now let's
When I feel like
convert and win the game.
it's a
So I'm gonna play
forceful
rook
move.
B1,
Isn't it more forced
play
than
rook
you could
D5
do?
probably, right?
When I
Then
make a
might play
move,
knight
it's more
F4.
forceful.
Then rook F5. Okay, so maybe I'm gonna try to get a rook.
Okay.
Maybe I'm gonna play.
When I make a move, it's not more forceful.
That's the best move, and I can't play rook E1. Tough.
Let's set up.
It's proving to be
I'm
very,
tired
very,
of
very
this
annoying.
bitch.
Very difficult position. But again, we have 2 minutes. We can't, we can't overthink. So let's play rook F1. Let's just kind of play quickly. Let's see. We have a knight for 2 pawns, and the 2 pawns are not particularly good pawns. So the more trades we can get, the faster we can get
Alright,
those trades, the
let's
better. We're
get
gonna
this
try
active.
to cause problems. Cause problems with the knight. Now we're both in the 2-minute mark. Last time I got really low on time. I'm trying to be instructive, but then I get 2 minutes and,
Out of
and then
moves.
it's pandemonium. So
Wait a second, my queen.
I'm trying to be instructive, but
Now you lose that,
I gotta win the games.
right?
I gotta win the games.
God
And,
damn
you know,
it.
1700
I suck.
is not easy.
God damn
If
it.
you just try to sit down and win the game, as fast as possible, it will be easier. But
One more.
let's go knight b4. We're
I can't
targeting
end
the
on
knight.
that. That's bullshit.
No, we're not targeting the knight. That is not a knight. We're targeting
Oh, wait.
the rook.
I might be able to.
If this, maybe I have some X-ray stuff. Skewer. Get a trade.
Cool.
Make my life easier. Been talking about it. More trades we can get, the better. Less pieces black has, less headache for me. Yeah, I'm looking at bishop f6. I don't see anything wrong with bishop f6, so I'm going to play it. Anywhere the rook moves, I'm going to take the bishop. Right, now here I could maybe throw in h3, by the way, but I don't think it does anything. So let's trade. This is under attack now. Let's protect it. So now they don't have a bishop. So now we have to get the rook into the game. We have to get the knight into the game. And in the interest of time, we should take as much stuff as we can while protecting all of our pieces.
What the
Easier said than
fuck?
done. Another way to play this position is to just go for a checkmate. Like, just go and try to get a mate. I'm going to go rook a7, trying to get this pawn.
Moving on up. Everybody sing it.
Just to show you, like, it's not easy to win this position. That's a big mistake, because now I get over there. And now we're going to start cleaning up. Now we see the advantage of having the extra piece. Because this piece is going to come back in different paths, and it's going to cause problems. We can take on b6. Nothing is hanging. Boom. Now we're just up a knight. No questions asked. Now we're going to be up a knight and a pawn. And very quickly, black's position will disintegrate. Now, I have a feeling black might try to trade with us.
I have a
We
feeling.
are up a knight and a pawn. King is always safe. Like, now it's just a cleanup process. Now we're going to get the knight to the middle and start pushing. I wouldn't mess around here. If we have an option to trade a rook, we trade the rook. But if not, just go.
I got a fortress,
We
bro.
have an option to trade a rook.
Me
We
alone.
can't push this. We also can't push that. It's kind of annoying.
You don't know how to go away.
All right, let's bring the knight to the middle then. Bring the knight to the middle. Somehow. Are they going here? They might. It's a good idea, maybe. Not a bad move.
Okay, dude.
It is definitely there. Yeah,
I
I'm going to play knight f4. Probably have something maybe slightly more accurate, but knight f4. They're going to take. Good counterplay. Now, in the interest of simplifying, this is probably best. And now we go for this pawn. So now we're going to try to win both of these pawns. And now, by far, the easiest way to play this position is to Oh, that is a great... I should have brought my king closer that way. That was silly. I'm making this a little bit more complicated for myself now. Let's go c4. We're in a pawn race. h4. This is protected. But it's getting a little too It's getting a little too close for comfort for me. Now this is the best move. Now I think I can sacrifice and probably win. Take, rook takes, take, c6, h3, 7. We're queening at the same time. Crazy. So maybe... Oh man. This is nuts. I made this way more complicated than I had to. Funny.
bet.
All right. Oh. Let's keep our knight. Let's keep our knight. Again, I'm making this way more dramatic. I don't know what I don't know why I'm doing all of this. That's checkmate. That is a checkmate threat. King h7 is that unfortunately loses the pawn. So it's not mate, but it's a great game by my opponent. I just want to give the props where they're due. Now, the easiest way, of course, we're just gonna push. So we're gonna protect everything. We're gonna push. This is a great game by Black.
Gotcha.
And sometimes it's hard for me because like I gotta win, but I'm also trying to give my let's give a check, just make sure we're back here, and we're just this move blunders a fork. That we don't have to take, but taking was probably best, by the way. Now we are winning. That's a nice move too, because the queen can promote. But I do have a backwards check. There was multiple ways to win. No stalemate. Go back to G5.
Is that what you call it?
Give some
A
checks.
backwards check?
Every move should be check. We will check all the way down. Until
Sorry.